My man bag is coming off. Chris Broad.
Leave this part of yourself behind. I've given you back.
Hiya folks. I don't know where we're going, but we're gonna go somewhere. Oh, two pigeons having a fight there. Cool.
Not the place where I'm going. Where I'm going.
So essentially today's video is just going to be, you know, in the faith of growing the channel and stuff like that, I've decided that I can put all of my positives and negatives into one place really. It saves me having to go over it again and again. I can just point people to this video, navigate my way through my favourite set of lights. But essentially, if you're new to the channel, you might not know, and to save me from any further questioning and people complaining in the comments, which I've been getting, I just want to put all this into one video, and I'll do another one. This is going to be the negatives, the top negative points to this bike, out of the box. What are the issues that I've been getting? And it's not a video I like making. I don't like making negative videos, but A, it gets the point out there. B, these videos seem to do really well for people, and I get more exposure from my channel. So hello if you're new. So if you don't know, I've been having a load of issues with this bike, like a load of issues. It's been back to Triumph a load of times, and it's actually going in next week for even more problems that I'm having with it, which leads me to point number one: the electrical malfunctions on this bike. A lot of people have been having similar issues, whether it be faults, engine lights coming up, low oil pressure, which I've had. I've had pretty much every issue you can think of on this bike. It's been really, really annoying, and unfortunately the issues electrically are issues that do say in the manual, if you get these right, do not fucking start the bike up. So just to go over the fragrant list that I've had, just to name a few. That tree is big. Issue number one was the low oil pressure. So I had a low oil pressure warning light come on. If you don't know, low oil pressure is not good for a bike. If you have a low oil pressure warning light, usually that means turn your bike off and do not turn it on again until you've got the issue seen to. So that came up whilst I was in Preston. It came up a few times, booked into Triumph. After 2 weeks of it being at Triumph, I was just called up and said, look, what's the problem? To which I was told, these engines run low oil pressure, like as standard. And so a lot of people are getting the same issue essentially. A lot of people are getting this warning light come up. So yeah, a lot of people have had this issue. What they did is they just lowered the threshold, raised the threshold in the software. Now, as a software engineer, I work in this type of environment. My day job is DevOps, developing, live support, that kind of stuff. So I've had a lot of exposure to software bugs and issues in my time, in my career. So the oil pressure warning management system, whatever it is that actually physically detects the oil pressure, they've just told that, look, you know, raise the threshold, because we know that these engines run on low oil pressure compared to a lot of others. Now, why that wasn't done in testing, I don't know. Like, that seems a bit of a cop-out to me. Where's that standard been put in, and why hasn't it been picked up in the test phases? Anyway, so that's one problem. I've had engine management light pop up the other day. So it was going in with engine management light problem. I had an ABS fault come up. Can't get through there, can I? Oh, thank you. Cheers, mate. Thank you, pal. Appreciate that, man. Which says to me that they kind of rushed these bikes out, and they didn't really do much in terms of testing, or they didn't do enough testing, in my opinion. This brings me on to point number two, the vibrations. Now, I look back at my my test ride of this bike the other day, and I actually did pick up on the vibrational issues. On the street triple, it was killing me. I've added underneath these, I went and bought some like rubber tape, quite thick, a few mil thick rubber, put them underneath to see if that would help, and it's just not It's just not done anything. There could be two problems here. Number one is that all the bolts on this bike they aren't rubber mounted. It's all direct metal to metal, which I think doesn't help at all when it comes to transfer of vibration. There's no damping anywhere that I can see. Everything's just metal bolted onto metal, and it's a bit silly in my opinion, that. But the second problem is the suspension is overly stiff. Like, in terms of how it's sprung, the actual suspension itself is very, very stiff. And this was another complaint, that when the bike came out, it was overly stiff, which it is. I can't, I had a ride on a friend 1290 Ducar the other day. That was a really nice bike, very, very similar power, very, very similar spec overall, and that suspension, it was WP Apex stuff, and it just felt so much better going over bumps. This stuff, even on a racetrack, I think would be difficult. It's actually dangerous. When you're giving it a handful and you go over a pothole and it just shakes the front end, or whatever. I've had it tuned, I've had everything sorted out in terms of what I can do personally. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to have the forks resprung and revalved, potentially reshimmed. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's the thing. Just going over bumps like this, over corners, it's dangerous because your hands basically get ripped off the handlebars from it. It's also causing me carpal tunnel symptoms. Ooh, TC kicked in then. The numb arms and pains and aches and stuff, which just shouldn't be there. I've had to deal with Triumph directly, the aftercare team, for that, and yeah, it's just been a bit dismal to be doing that, to be honest. I'm not really getting anywhere because obviously they build a bike to fit a wide load of people, so it could be the vibrations are coming from the front suspension, and essentially what's happening with that is obviously there's not enough sort of give in the spring. All the vibrations are going to come up through the tyre regardless of tyre pressure, and these handlebars are like tuning forks. They are resonant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap out the bars first. Essentially one of the problems is that Triumph are quite proprietary, and I don't know why they've done this. It's really annoyed me, but you can't take the bar ends out and put more weight in. Basically, there's a thread inside the bar, inside the handlebar there, and essentially what happened, you can't get it out. Well, you can, but you have to have specialised tools, and apparently it's 10 kilonewtons of torque in order to get it out, and it's counter thread, so it's a massive pain, which means that you can't change your mirrors, you can't change pretty much anything on here. So I'm going to change the bars out and see if that works, and then if that fails, then we'll get the front forks resprung.
Oh yeah, you alright? Oh yeah, not bad, yeah. Hello, you alright mate? Yeah, still kicking. Cool, I'm now a proper racer boy, look.
Got some knee scrapers on now, so that's cool. Right, so point number 3, issue number 3 of this bike is the Euro restrictions. The Euro 5 emissions restrictions for this bike are fucking dog shit. They really hamper the bike, they do. And again, I've had problems with that, just in the sense that it can be dangerous. It can really be dangerous. So when I first got on this bike on my test ride, go and give that a watch if you want to look at that. One of the things that I pointed out with that was there was like a dip, or there was something happened at 5,000 RPM, and I couldn't figure it out. So I just assumed that it was emissions related until I actually ended up buying the bike. It's only after I've gotten this thing dynoed that I've been able to prove that. And yeah, there is a massive issue with this bike with the Euro 5 emission stuff. It's Delamere Forest, if anyone knows it. There's Delamere Forest for anyone that doesn't know. Well, there's the reservoir on Delamere. Gorgeous place. I've not been there in a few years. Used to go there as a kid quite a lot. Whoa, okay, so much just happened. Well, that was strange. Hey. Fucking love this bike. So yeah, anything below 5,000 RPM on this bike isn't very nice. This is the first real scrub that I've had in a while. Oh bloody hell. But essentially what's happening there is the bike is extremely lean. The air fuel mixture is up at 14 and it's only around 5,000 RPM. When you full throttle it, it actually starts to richen up and gets to more like 12.8, something like that. That's what we found. But if you're just doing a constant throttle, it is lean throughout the entire rev range. Because just right down here at 3,000-4,000 RPM, just changing gear and getting off and on the throttle, it is really laggy, it's bogged down. And again, in my review, that's one of the things that I picked up on, was the fact that it felt really like a lazy twin at the bottom of the RPM. And again with emissions, it's like, if I want to be in 4th gear 40 mile an hour, it just does not like sitting there at all. Slightest twitch in my hand and it just drops, the power just drops. I don't know where I am, by the way, I don't know where I'm going. But and then the fifth problem, the fifth negative for me, this is personal, and this is subjected to me and my status and all the things that I like in a bike, is the mile per gallon. The tank size is no way near big enough. It's a 15.5 litre tank and I'm getting 130 mile out of a tank, which is just not enough. It really is not enough. And for some people, they don't. I've spoken to some people, they just don't care. It's a nice view over there. Some people don't care about the mileage, you know, they don't give a fuck. But for me, it's a big thing, especially just having paid 170 for a litre because of everything going on in the world with Ukraine and the Russian sanctions and gas prices and all that. They were talking of Ukraine, bloody hell. You know, if I just want to go out for a ride, I'm constantly worrying that the fuel light comes on with like 40 mile left. A big fucking orange thing will pop up and block half the screen, right? And it will say, refuel immediately. Where am I? I don't know where I am. I'm near the seaside, apparently. Okay. That needs to be lowered down, Triumph. That really needs to be lowered down to like 20 mile, because you can't have it popping up with 90 mile on the tank saying refill immediately, because it's just stupid. I have no idea where I am, but I really like this place. This is beautiful. I think I'm going to take a right here. Wait, am I in Frodsham? I don't know. Oh, big pothole. Fucking hell. Yeah, I am in Frodsham. Okay. Yeah, I know where I am now. Look at that. It's that. And then you get it past 5,000 and then it's fine. It's a monster after 5,000. So the main problem on this bike is the fueling. Oh. Horses. But if I want to save some petrol, put it in 4th and 30. It's just not nice. Another problem that's come up is getting it into neutral is a faff, man. There's lots and lots of little problems with this bike. In synopsis, the problems here are prevalent. The main problems really, the physical and the software. Physical, I've been through. When I got the master cylinder, when I first got the bike, the front master cylinder was broken, so that got recalled. The front brake pressure was also recalled. There's an issue with the way that they were bled from the factory, as I understand it. The rear brake master cylinder has just started pissing fluid on me, and the brake doesn't really do anything anymore, which is a shame, because when I first got the bike, the rear brake was the highlight of this bike. It was really good. The ergonomics, again, on any bike can be a low point for people if you want it to be. For example, I'd like new rear sets for this bike, because I'd like to have my legs up a bit. You know, the actual position's not too bad, but if I could just get them up and underneath the tank a little bit more to sort of secure them there, instead of being able to grip the tank, you're gripping the frame down here. Your legs kind of tuck into. If I could lift my legs upwards, that would be really good. And it keeps going into neutral out of nowhere. Things are fucking arse. we go. Refuel immediately. What did I tell you? God, the suspension on this bike is just... This road is horrible. I forgot about this road up at Daresbury. But there's just undulations in the road everywhere, and it's bloody hell. Oh fucking Jesus. It can be brutal. Jesus Christ. Oh Jesus Christ, man. The suspension on this is not good for the road. It's way too stiffly sprung. Put my lights on actually. Especially for our shitty roads here in the UK, it's just awful. There you go, look at that, boys and girls, that's a beautiful view. All the way across to Runcorn, all the way across to Warrington. Up to the peaks. Because it's things like the dash. The dash is really slow, it's laggy. I've had issues where you can't change mode, it just gets stuck, you turn the bike off and on again, it's just shit, it's really bad. It's in neutral again, keeps doing that. There's things like the menu. If you look at the menu system, it's very, very archaic, very blocky, very, it just doesn't feel like a menu. You can scroll through things, but you only have one option to scroll through, and then you're into the menu again, and you have to go up and up twice, and then across and up and down, and you're trying to concentrate on the road whilst doing this, you know. Like now, I didn't even realise I wasn't in my fuel status thing again. And there's like, you know, there's widgets and icons that kind of overlap each other. I've just clicked fuel status, and it's not done it. It did a little jig, and then right now it's done it. Piece of shit. And you know, widgets like overlay on each other, and things don't line up properly, and it doesn't seem to have had the right type of testing done to it. Or they've just kind of okayed it and gone, right, well, we need to get the bike out, so just throw it on and we'll continue to fix it. But in the background, they don't seem to have been fixing much, to be honest, because I've not heard much in the way of updates or anything, and trying to get anything from the Triumph after sales team, it's just been fucking ugh. And I'm sure, you know, they've been getting a lot of people complaining about this bike. A lot of people have been having problems, but it's not the point. Get it fixed. Get that fucking thing fixed. Get your customers loyal and keep them sorted, keep them happy. Thankfully, Trafford Triumph have been really nice to me, and they've been sorting me out this entire time. And the fact they've brought the RR out with the same fucking screen and shit as well, that's kind of a stupidity. But so that's me, folks. So that's my top list of negatives, really. Don't get offended if I've, you know, if I've upset you because your bike's perfect. I don't really give a shit. Feel free to comment. You're absolutely more than welcome to comment. Use this place as a discussion. Use this place as a resource, you know. Absolutely don't mind that at all. But don't sit and have a go at me because your bike's perfect. I don't care. Mine isn't. And that's the point here. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. The channel is it's definitely growing. Lots of views, lots of things coming down the pipeline, so I love you all. Thank you so much. Well, that's me. I'll see you very, very soon, I'm sure. And until the next time, sod 'em out. Ta-ra, folks. See you later.